It is finally time, you guys. This crazy card is legal, and man, I just don't know what to say. I can say I got my set, though. I got my extra 2 copies. Shout out to my boy Pete, as always. You know, these deck profiles are made because of you, so thank you for that. You guys have been asking for this since day one, and I got you guys. This is my updated Dragoon of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, whatever the hell you want to call this guy. Invoke Dragmatica list. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. As always, if you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell. You guys will be notified whenever I upload. You guys will also be notified when I stream over on Twitch. I promise that's happening sooner than later. Links are in the description. As always, if you see any cards you want to purchase, especially Dragoon, because you should pick it up now before it skyrockets in price again. The card keeps going up and down every day, but if you're going to purchase any of these cards, use my TCG player link into the description below. A portion of what you spend goes back to the channel. It helps me out, and I really do appreciate it. We're gonna get into it, you guys. I think I actually really like my list. This is the list I've actually been testing, and when I go back to streaming, this is the list you guys will see. I got it to 42 cards. I wanted to get it to 40. I will explain like why I wasn't able to, but if you want to make any cuts to this deck or you don't actually play all the cards that I do, you can definitely do that. But we'll get into it. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Be sure to smash that like button. I don't really see a lot of this list out. I see a lot of people messing with Dark Magician and Red Eye themselves, but let's face it, in the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh scene, Invoke Dragmatica with Dragoon is absolutely nuts. So if for people who are saying you couldn't play Dragoon in this deck, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. I told a lot of people that. I don't understand why people think you can't play that card in here, saying that you get locked out by Ecclesia and stuff. I'm just gonna let you guys know, spoiler, Dogmatica effects are not mandatory. You can choose to activate them, so just remember that. But anyways, 3 of the All-Star, you already know, one of my favorite cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's never going to change. This card is just insane. 1 card Makaba. Ecclesia, of course, for our Dogmatica engine. So our Dogmatica engine is basically the same. We have 3 Ecclesia, 2 Florida. I am playing the 1 Maximus, so before anyone says anything, so Maximus is back in the deck. I know people play multiple. I chose to just play 1. Here's the reason. We're not trigger happy with this card. This card is what I call the trigger happy card. A lot of people are very quick to activate it, then get punished because the opponent is playing cards to, to combat Dogmatica. The whole point of this engine is extenders. They're all extenders. Alistair plus a Dogmatica card is what you're trying to do, and that's like the whole point. You're trying to get to Alistair plus an extender. Now, you can make the argument, oh, maybe I should play 3, but you actually don't need to do that. So this card is just, I think this is fine. You can up this to 2 if you want, but I just chose that this engine, I felt that this was consistent enough to get everything done. So this is the engine I've always been playing with the added Maximus just at 1. I felt that by doing it this way, you're not playing too many Dogmatica cards, and you're not going to be super trigger happy with your Maximus, because all you really need for the combo is Alistair plus one of the Dogmaticas, and then you just get going. So there's that. That's it for like the main monsters. Then the hand traps are triple Ash. So Ash is back in this deck because of Dragoon. Because of Dragoon existing, Verde existing, Red Eyes Fusion existing, you have to be able to stop these cards. This card also stops Gamma, which, surprise, surprise, is our next hand trap. It's obviously still the best hand trap in the game right now. Clearly, as you guys have seen from online events, the remote duels, etc., this card is just insane. It just stops so many things. Being able to outright just stop the Verde is broken too, so I really like that. I think that both of these cards are very essential in the deck. They're also light and fire for Macabre and Purgatrio, so of course that comes up a lot. You can also make Hard Make Omega. It doesn't happen that much, trust me, it really doesn't, but in those niche situations that you could do it, I mean, why wouldn't you? Because you play Omega anyway, so that's it for that. And then of course you've got to play the Faithful Servant and Joey's Red Eyes. These are just cool. Everyone has their different arts that they play. This is just the one that my boy Pete got me, and I actually really like these. I really thought I was gonna play like the OG arts, and then the more I looked at these, I was like, dang, I actually really like these ones. So everyone has their personal versions of Red Eyes and Dark Magician they're playing. Let me know which ones you guys are playing in the comments below. Yeah, you need these. They're necessary for your engine. A cool fact is that, like, even if you draw these, you can still play them because you can still just invocate, or you can use Red Eyes Fusion from hand. So they're not the worst cards. I know what people are saying, my god, why do we have to play bricks in the deck? I mean, they're kind of bricks, they're vanillas, but hey, I mean, Dragoon is just that good. But that's it for the monster count for the spells. Of course, triple Meltdown and double Invocation. We're still not playing Desires in this deck. You already know the draw card we're playing, but obviously this goes with the Invoked engine. What I really like about Invocation too, the fact that it's another form of polymerization. If you happen to draw this awful hand, you can still make a Dragoon. So that's pretty cool. You really don't want that to happen though, like, disclaimer, you really don't want that to happen, but hey, I mean, we work with what we got. So That's the invoked cards. Of course, to go with Dogmatika, you need Triple Nadir's Servant. This card is just really insane. Like, it just really is. Like, I think what I like about this card is just that, like, it just starts, like, off all your combos. Obviously, you get locked in, not being able to summon from the extra deck. So what you do try to do is just do your combo, and then this is, like, backup. The Dogmatika cards are backup when you already get to Dragoon. Because, honestly, if you open Makaba Dragoon hand trap, like, you're good to go. Like, and that's kind of the goal with the deck. And then, of course, my draw card of choice is Tactic Talons. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Damn it, Slim, this card's expensive. I know. But I've already told you guys, because of this card's existence, this card is a lot more beneficial and is going to see a lot more play. They negate something with Dragoon, which happens all the time. Well, guess what? You can take the Dragoon with Talents, and then you can link it away or do whatever. Use the effect, pop their monsters. You might win the game because of that, because of how low their life points are. I think this card is definitely going to see a lot more play going forward, and I highly suggest that if you guys haven't picked them up, that you do, using my TCG player, link in the description below, and just get them, because this card is just one of the best cards that will see a lot more play than people think. And I think it's wrong to disregard this card, even though it hasn't seen like a ton of play. I think the card is still very good, and it's something that you want to have going forward. More cards to combat Dragoon, more expensive cards, unfortunately. But I talked about talents and droplets so much on this channel already. You guys already know that they're worth investing in. I think that you guys need to realize like just how strong these cards really are. Being able to turn off Dragoon is ridiculous. They can't respond. There you go. That is the main thing. They cannot respond. Like, there are only so many cards in Yu-Gi-Oh that say they can't respond. So this is definitely one of those cards that you need. It being a quick play, it's setting up your graveyard. It does a lot of good for what the deck needs to do. So I really like this card in this deck. This card has been very strong in this deck. And then again, this was a reason why I couldn't really get the deck to 40. I'm still playing 3 Call by the Grave. Now this is the card that people said that I could cut, but I'll be honest, I want my Red Eyes Fusion to resolve. I want my cards to resolve. Call by the Grave is good going first or going second. I say it every deck profile. I think that it's just a necessary card. And at 42, I still like my deck. Like, I still like my deck at 42 because I may not draw those vanillas as much. I may not draw the driver as much. I have 3 vanillas in my deck, like literally 3 vanillas. So I'm hoping that, you know, by keeping it at 42, I have a pretty consistent deck that can also get all its plays off, and that's why I like Call by the Grave. Obviously, going first, going second card is fantastic. And then, of course, our last copy of Meltdown. Don't need to explain that. Only 1 fusion, so this shouldn't come as a surprise, but it probably will. Like, people are saying they're playing 3 fusion. I just wouldn't do that. So yes, Dragoon is insane. Like, there's no denying that Dragoon is insane, but you only really need 1. If you hard draw it, you activate it. If you make Verde, you send it. There's a lot of things you can do with that, and I think that that's one thing you guys should realize, is that you don't need to play multiple in this particular deck. This isn't like an extra deck where you're going to hard draw this, so you play like 2 to 3 copies with 3 copies of Dragoon and extra. You only need 1. Most engines only need 1. If you follow the OCG, you only need 1, because it's just like Neos Fusion. Now, granted, Neos Fusion was different in Mech Knights because you were a glorified going second deck. This deck can go first or go second, so having just the 1 copy is fine. I think that you definitely don't need more. You can make an argument for maybe 2, but I think 1 is perfect. And that's it for the spells and the traps. Obviously, the next best hand trap. This is the reason, again, the deck is over 40. I wanted to play 3 impermanents. I wasn't cutting this card no matter what. Card's super important. And I wasn't going to cut punishment. I think this card is still insane. Yes, you're locked out of the extra deck, but after you do all your plays, if you set this up with Makaba and Dragoon, I don't see how you lose that game. I just don't. Like, if you get to this by hard drawing it, you make your Dragoon, you make whatever, like, it's really hard to lose at that point. And then the last card is I still play the Shadal Schism. You can still make this. The beauty of this engine is that since Dark Magician and Red Eyes are darks, they kind of fuel your play if you get the Apple Cologne in the grave. So still really good. So I like it. So that is the main deck. It's 42 cards. Extra deck real quick. This Insanity, beautiful card. I really wish it was, you know, a Prismatic Secret, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. This card is insane. Welcome to Dragoon format. That's all I can say. Welcome to Dragoon format. This is the man right here, though. Still 2 copies of Makaba. We're still playing the Nova. I'll explain that later. This should come as no surprise. Your goal is to end on Makaba Dragoon. Most games, it's very easy to do. Purgatrio, obviously, for just OTKs. Agodius, I still play it. OTKs come up. This card's just insane. If for some reason this goes to the graveyard, this fuels this, and it just makes this card huge. So fantastic. So we play all that. Obviously, your one card Makaba play. Don't need to explain that. You guys already know. this very insane card that is now in this deck. It's very easy. Like I said, you open Alistair plus any Dogmatika. You basically can just do it. Make the Verde, you know, make your Macabre, still play around Nibiru, and then make Dragoon, and it's pretty nice. So this card is ridiculous. I just play one of, though. I don't think you need to play more than that. So there's been an argument for that since the Red Eyes Dragoon came out. They're like, do you play more than one? I think it really comes down to personal preference, but I don't think it's actually necessary. I think you can get away with just playing the one of, because the thing is, like, I rarely see myself making a second one. Now the argument for the second one is if you're playing other like fusion cards, because there are other fusion cards you can play, but I think honestly one is fine. I haven't found myself making a second one. Some of you might, so if you do want to play more, I completely understand that. I just personally haven't actually seen myself playing more than one, so there's that. And then on to our graveyard food. So I've got the still two copies of Elder Entity. Possibly thinking of dropping this to one. However, I do like having it just for the added like effects. Obviously it's just a disruption, like you guys already know that. I cut down to just one Ash Dragon. I never really saw myself going into the second one in this particular build, because normally if you get Dragoon out and you resolve this like in turn, I guess it would be what, technically turn 3, like you're not getting the add until the end of turn 3. Turn 4 happens, turn 5 it's back to you. Like the game should pretty much be over by then. So I really didn't see myself grinding this card back. Plus Omega can recycle this. So the thing is, Omega can recycle all these cards. So that could be the reason why I might cut Entis just down to 1. And then I'm only playing Apocolon and Winda. You don't actually need Construct, so I love Construct. I wish I could play it in this deck, but again, space is tight since we added 2 cards and we added the Dragoon and the Verde, which is like the minimal engine, but you still need to make room in the deck. So Apocolon will send the Schism, and will literally like send the Schism, and or no, not even send the Schism, it will add the Schism, and then you don't have to discard the Schism. So I think that was the confusion. I myself was confused in the beginning, thinking, oh okay, if I search the card I have to send it to the graveyard. No, you can send any other card. Hold the Schism in hand. If you've already resolved the Dragoon and you happen to have Apocolon in the grave, and then either the Dark Magician or the Red Eyes, you literally have Winda plus Dragoon on your opponent's turn. Like that's just bonkers. Like if that actually resolves, like that's just bonkers. And then Winda, of course. So that is the reason for that. I think that was one of the easier cuts for this deck. And then the last card is Omega. Its recycling is very, very important. I can't stress that enough. It came up for me a lot more than I thought, and I'm really happy that I played in the deck. And then I still play Nova. This card is cuttable. I completely understand. Disclaimer, you don't make this card. I don't know why people think you make this card. You don't make this card. The reason you use this card is if your opponent is trigger happy and plays Maximus, you send this and summon a Macabre. That's the only reason I'm playing the second copy of Macabre. If you want to know the truth, if I cut the Nova, I can cut the Macabre. I got a lot of cards I can cut, and I can redesign this extra deck, but for now this is the route I went with, and I'm very happy with it. But that's a deck, you guys. Again, I hope you guys did enjoy. Smash that like button if you did enjoy. Dragoon is an absolutely insane card. It warps the whole format, but I think that you know, it's not gonna be as broken as it was in OCG, and if the card does go to 1, we can still play it in some form. You guys will definitely see more Dragoon decks from me, but again, let me know your thoughts on this deck. Its place in the format. I know people will say the Eldritch deck is better. I 100% agree with you. I just don't have access to the Eldritch cards, but I feel that I'm going to play what I enjoy. What I enjoy really playing is the Invoked Dogmatika, plus we added Dragoon. It's pretty crazy, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed, and as always, see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.